are Team 22, P22. We call ourselves as change makers, and this is my team, Ravi Sangwan, Hargun Bhatia, Pragya Jain, and myself, Jyoti Srivastava. So we are here to present one of the IT cases where we have to change one of the old system in legal system, and it's old and vulnerable. So there are three key issues which we have identified through the case. One is that it is a very outdated legacy system. It's been almost 24 years it's in use, and technology is changing very fast, so it's very outdated system. And second thing which we have realized, that it's not secured and vulnerable. We know that these days, due to the use of internet and everything, there are threats, cyber threats are there. So being an old system, it is not compatible or secure enough that it will stop any cyber threats or internet attacks on it. So this is one of the key issue. And the last but not the least is what we found, that though they tried to change the system in the past, before that they tried to do some market analysis, but it was not efficient enough, and again it also got outdated because market is also changing very fast. So these are the three key issues which we have found, and this is our mandate. So this is our mandate, what is required here is to replace Jurican, which is the software which we are talking about, an outdated software, to replace Jurican with an optimized, fast-paced and secure legal service solution with an efficient implementation plan. Here implementation plan is the key, because it's a very old system, but it has got a lot of data into it. So if it is not being changed with a good plan, there might be multiple risks to it. Okay. So here is our recommendation. So first of all, of course, agile method. To use agile method, we are going to do the iterative developments, means to do the developments in steps. So first step, some development happen, then it's review and all the threats, risk which we have found here, lessons which we have learned here, and mitigate all of them, and then going to the next step. And then recurring demo calls. Of course, recurring demo calls is the most important thing, because once all the stakeholders are in sync, when all stakeholders are in sync, then only a project can be successful. So at regular intervals, we need to have regular calls with all the stakeholders. Okay. Second thing is market analysis. As we have highlighted in the previous slide, the market analysis was not done correctly. So this time we have to do a thorough market analysis, and there we have to prioritize our customer. Here our customers are basically the employees of the legal system. So their needs to be put first in the market analysis, and of course, based on their needs, which solution is best suited for them, we can identify that thing. And optimization, of course, optimization is the key these days. So we need to optimize as well, that what could be the best solution in terms of cost, money and scope. So we have to optimize everything. Integration with data analytics. As I have mentioned earlier also, it has got huge data into it, because it's an old system. It's been into the system since 24 years. It has got 12,000 cases, more than 12,000 cases. So it has got very big database into it. So integrating it with the data analytics would be the key here. When we introduce data analytics, it will be easier for the end user to use it. So these are our three main recommendations here. So now Pragya will take over.
Okay. So thank you, Jyoti, for detailed recommendation plan. Now we know on a broader level what we want to do. So how we will initiate the project. So first we'll formulate a team. Now we know what we need to do. So we need to create a team, which will create different teams which will take care of different aspects. Then we need to follow up. So basically, whatever communication channels we need to lay between different teams, but we need to take care of the communication with the customers, those things. And finally, integrating everything, we need to to deploy and execute the solution. So now we have identified these tasks and we are going to make people accountable. So it's very, very important that we know who from our team is going to take care of different projects or different parts of the tasks. So market research, Laura is responsible and accountable, and Louis will be the consulting person, and Andre will be informed throughout. Similarly, for the project fallout, so that is basically initiation or kickoff of the project. After market research, we'll identify what areas we need to focus on or what implementation plan, exact action items we need. So for that, we'll have a meeting, and these are the persons responsible for the same. Similarly, for software development, because we are not expert, and it's not a very good idea to develop a team for one-time solution. So we have decided to go with a third-party developer, and they would be responsible and accountable while keeping members from our team in loop. So they'll be informed and consulted. Again, for the execution and testing, I missed the integration part. So integration part, different departments have their data, and data is very, very vulnerable. So we don't want to share it with other third parties. That's why we want to integrate it within the team. We'll train our team and do the integration part. So respective department will update the system with their data, and solution finally will execute and test it. So while testing, we'll keep our customers in loop. We'll see how it's working out, and then finally we'll deploy and continue maintaining and supporting the whatever solutions we have achieved. Now this is the overview of major tasks. So during initiation, we are doing detailed market analysis to find out the solutions. Then during the planning, we'll be hiring different Scrum teams, we'll be hiring software development team and all those things. And the execution part, so in the execution part, we'll be focusing mostly on development of interface, the software, data migration, and integrating both into one channel, and then finally closer. So we'll deploy it and document whatever we have learned in the journey so far. Passing on to the...
Thank you, Pragya, for that explanation. Now, we have done a market analysis of the different alternatives that we here have of replacing our existing system. So we have found three major alternative or technologies that are in work. One is cloud integration. We can integrate our processes and the cases with the cloud, but here we have certain issues like the ease of use. The employees need to be trained because they are like trained with the Jurican software. They have been using it for a long time, and the functionalities, they are like that. So in that case, we want to develop an in-house software that will incorporate those features. Frederick, in our team member, he is aware of all those functionalities, and he will be our guide in integrating those first functionality into the new software that can be regularly updated and maintained. So further, it is a legal firm. We are going to the legal processes. There are privacy concerns. The data of the clients cannot be shared. In cloud, we do have a risk of data like hacking and other concerns. And another option we found was outsourcing. That also factored low. These are the terms I would like to say. H means high. This is the most best thing in this scenario, and L means the lowest thing. When we are going for a third party, there are privacy concerns that the data can be leaked because it is a serious issue. Various influential parties are involved. So when we are having an in-house software development, we are focusing more on intranet software development that is not linked to the internet. We will use a third party to develop that for us using the functionalities from existing software, and then we will be migrating the data, and that will be monitored by our team. And whole monitoring and the execution process will be, our team will be kept in loop in that. Now Hargun will take over the implementation timeline.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Ravi. So let me reiterate the recommendation that we have suggested you. So we had three alternatives. We wanted to go with the cloud. We wanted to outsource our software development to a third party. And then we were suggesting something as an in-house software developing by hiring 2 or 3 Scrum teams. And by hiring 2 or 3 Scrum teams so that we can prevent all those cyber threats and we had a core focus on market analysis. So we want to do in-house development, but market analysis should drive that innovation. So what we did is so our planning and execution is totally agile. We want our development to start in an agile way, but the first and foremost thing is market analysis. So we want a market analysis to start as soon as possible. Then what we call by data collation is that data migration should be divided into two parts. It should not like solely start once and end at once, because it can create issues with the current company, because employees will suffer and it will affect their efficiency. So what we want to do is we want to collate the data at one database initially, and then we want to start our design and development. So when we mean by in-house design and development, we want to use the latest UI frameworks, UX frameworks, that eases the customer workflow. So we want to like decrease the customer workflow as more as possible, because they have been working with legacy systems and they are doing multiple tasks. So we want to reduce that time and increase their efficiency. And then we want to start R&D and data analytics. So why we are starting it after or mid of design and development is because we want to understand what our customer demands. So what we suggested, we will have a market survey with 3 or 4 data analytic options. What could be based on your authentication icon, based on your login. We'll give you the relevant cases and we'll filter them out. This could be one of the options based on data analytics. Another could be a chatbot. You can just sit and you can ask questions. Okay, this is the case. What is the case I'm working on? I was working on this case. Can you just display the major information about that? So these kind of data analytics solutions will be offered in that market survey. And once we have got the results, what we will do is we'll try to do an R&D if we are able to integrate it to our in-house software solutions. So that is why we have left a room of R&D, because we don't want to just deploy it at this software, because it will again create an issue after our MVP is launched. So once our R&D on data analysis starts, we'll know how to migrate our data. We've understood, we have got the information, how they want the data to be migrated, how they want the data to react. Now let's start the data migration. So now we see that data migration is reduced because we have collated the data at one place. So we have the data at one place. Now we can easily migrate it within a short span of time. And this is where we'll have basically two milestones. One, you have done the data migration and you have done the design development. So they are happening in iterative way, agile way. It is not a waterfall model that once the design is done, you will, once the design is done, then R&D will start. So based on our implementation plan, we are recommending 2 milestones at the end of August, which is a data migration is on point, and we have a UI UX ready with data analytics establishment. So these 2 will be demoed to our customer one-on-one, and all this design and development will happen with recurring demo calls. As we mentioned earlier, that once we are done, we'll always demo our client the functionalities that we are trying to enhance and build. Last is our integration testing. We don't want to just launch our minimum viable product. We want to just test it with our customer as well as in-house QA, quality assurance team. So we have given some time, that is like 1 month at least of integration testing, so to solve all the P1, P2, P3 issues, that is priority 1, priority 2, and priority 3 issues. And once that is done, we'll launch our MVP, which will be our second biggest milestone. That is our minimal viable product. And through all that process, we want that continuous client feedback should be given. So all those recurring demo calls, all those market analysis, if they want us to optimize the market analysis, we will be doing that and we'll be gathering all that feedback in our development. Can you present the next slide? So no implementation is perfect. We know that even if we go with an in-house software development, even if we follow agile methodologies, we'll be coming with some risks. But we have some mitigation plans, and we have made some graph of probability and severity. How probable the risk is and how severe the risk is. So probably resistance to new interface. We know that if clients will use a new interface, there will be resistance. So we have workshops for employees based on the new UX that we will be giving them. So they'll be knowing how the UX will look like. It is a more probable risk, but it is not that severe because we got them. Second is app failures. Though it is being produced, there will be recurring app failures, 1 or 2. We have regular interval testing. After every feature or after every scrum, we'll have some integration testing that will define us. Last is cyber threats. So though we'll have authentication tokens and everything done, but still there'll be a slight slope of cyber threats. So we'll have continuous support from our data migration team. That will be one of our core scrum teams. This will be a less probable one, but it will have high severity. So it will lie somewhere here, but in this point of time. So third is one of the threats that we want to mitigate at max. So that's why we'll not lay off our data migration team at all. That is the core of our project. And that's why we are mostly dependent on market analysis to drive all the solutions.
So now we're gonna question period for 5 minutes.
Can I start, guys? Could you bring back the slide about the market analysis, please?
So you can go to the next slide.
Yes.
Next slide. This is actually all about market
before.
analysis. Okay.
So, yeah, there's one recommendation. Why do you mention that prioritizing customer? Like, do you think that presently the customer is not well understood? Do you have the impression, like, what sustained this? I want to know why you put this sentence there.
So we heard in the case that it is not updated at all. So it has long been that market analysis is already done, but no inculcation of customer has been done. So if we just go and roll out that market analysis, it could be a blunder. So we want to analyze our latest customers that are our stakeholders in legal services team. There could be, at the case also mentioned that there were layoffs. So there is a new team also. So we want to take into account every team member and we want to prioritize them and then modify a market survey, because that we told that this is going to drive our software development. So that is why we thought that prioritizing our major stakeholders according to our AKI matrix and also all our customers is very important.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your presentation, very interesting. So my question is about your project framework. Is it agile or hybrid? Because I see agile framework only on the iterative development phase, and in the other slide I see like the 4 phases or stages of the traditional project management framework. So I'm a bit confused.
Yes, we are following mixed model where we are using agile for software development because that is a core aspect. We want to integrate the changing things and the needs of the customer, because as we develop the software, the needs will keep changing. What we want, how the functionality should be, the ease of use, the adaptability with the existing software, and because everybody cannot be migrated directly, and we need how to make this more compatible with the existing system. So that is the agile model. But market analysis, and that is the key aspect that was left behind in earlier studies. So we want to focus on that first. Regarding the software development, we are also contracting out them to developers and also having initially maintenance and execution teams from the third party so that we can integrate it in-house. Later we are not using them, so we can keep on monitoring and updating it. So that's where the agile framework comes.
Thank you for your proposal. About your risk management, can we see it? Yeah. What are your key messages for during your workshops for employees to face the resistance to new interface?
So can you reiterate the question? I'm sorry.
What will be your key messages for during the workshops for
Yes,
employees?
so we understand that we are developing a whole new solution. Okay. So it will have another level of UI. We want to reduce the customer steps, we want to reduce the customer journey, but they might not understand that we're reducing the customer journey. It might be very overwhelming for them. So what we want to do is, once we are done with the UX development, that is our wireframes, that are mock UI wireframes, we want to show them the wireframes and get them through the customer journey and how it is creating an impact in their day-to-day lives. So once they know that, okay, these steps are reduced from my older implementation, they'll be less resistant as to if you're just giving them the UI and saying them that, okay, work on it, because it will take another time to transition on that specific UI and it can impact their efficiency. So we want to train them on the UI and UX that we have to just tell them about the customer journey. It could be through interactive games, but they will be seeing the UX and UI on the screen. So they'll be knowing that, okay, when I sit on the laptop or sit on the PC after 6 or 8 months, this is what I'm going to see. This is what is going to be my customer journey.
A question: what is your project duration? 12 months?
Approximately, yes.
Okay. And you have an idea about the costs?
So we have tried to
The cost optimum, because we are not using cloud-based solution intensively because it will add on to the cost. We are using internal servers, we are training, and to reduce the cost of the software development part, it will require a lot of training, so we have we have outsourced the same. So we have not estimated the exact numbers, but we have tried to optimize the cost throughout the project analysis.
Was the last question, so congratulations. And and then your thing is going to be a volunteer.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you.